Hello, we're back.
Hey, everybody. Do we look tan? I think I got more freckles.
So this time, what are we talking about?
Today, we are talking about our first impressions on the Disney Treasure. As you guys who follow our podcast and on Instagram know that we have taken a 7-night cruise on the Disney Treasure.
Eastern Caribbean, leaving from Port Canaveral, going to U.S. Virgin Island for one day, the
BVI.
British Virgin Island for another day, and then Castaway Key.
Yes.
So just 3 ports of call and 3 ship days.
It was really great. And we're going to break all those down in future podcasts because those are ports that a lot of people don't get a chance to go to other than Castaway. And we had a pretty unique experience on Castaway as well. So we'll want to definitely share that with everybody.
So this was, of course, our first time on the Treasure. Now, we had been on the Wish for their, 3-day cruises. So we kind of knew the layout a little bit, but that was such a short cruise that you really didn't get to see everything. So
and it's been 2 years. Yeah.
This one, we kind of wanted to make sure we saw every part of the ship.
It's big. And the layout's different. It's not that much bigger, I think, than the Dream class in like size and whatnot. Same amount of capacity of people, but it's just the layout.
They've
like the
broken
Wish.
It up a little bit, and
it's very different.
Like where everything is on the Wish is where everything is on this. It's just some lounges are named different. They have different, the rotational dining in the aft is different on this one. But first impressions, the atrium is as they designed it. They want to have that big wow factor right when you walk in with, it's a 3-story atrium now. That's what they call them. It used to be called the...
it's the Grand Hall.
Grand Hall. Okay.
It was the atrium
and now
before.
they call it the Grand Hall. But you walk in and you see, the statue of Aladdin and Jasmine right there because they're the namesakes, I guess, or the stewards of the ship. So you've got that, and then there's also the lamp sitting right next to them too.
It was like the first time I ever saw the and I know there's an actual word for it, but the icon of the ship, excuse me, in 2 pieces because the way that they have the magic carpet, it's like it's floating, and so. Then they have the lamp off over to the side, which I thought was a nice touch. They didn't forget the lamp, but it wasn't part of the.
Well, I think it's good because the lamp's separated enough that you can actually get photos just with the lamp. If it was up on the rug, it might because they kind of try to keep the statuette a little high and back so people can't climb on it or anything. But anyways, you walk right in and you've got, the balcony there. The
balcony and
Aladdin
Jasmine.
And Jasmine, I think, were up on the balcony
They were waving. They were happy to see me. I don't blame them.
But we were hungry because, you've got, your standard safety drill you have to do, I think, at about 4 o'clock. So we had a couple hours to kill before then. But we want to get something to eat. And unfortunately, the sit-down lunch ended, I think, at 2.
Yeah.
But I think Marceline's Market, which is the buffet on this class of ship, they call it Marceline Market, was 2:30, I believe.
Yeah, it was definitely later. So we did have an opportunity to go in, and it was so funny. We walk in, we wash our hands, we go to the first food station, and that was it. That's all we needed to go to. It was
basically the carving board, if you will. So they had prime rib that they were carving, and then they also had lamb chops, grilled lamb chops right there. And we weren't that hungry. We didn't want to eat that much because, of course, we were going to have a big dinner that evening. So we decided to, just basically we hit that say and then went right back. Now, pro tip, dork tip, on this class of ship at the very front of the Marceline Market is kind of almost a little cafe with like little smaller tables, and there's a bar area that has coffees and espressos and beers and mixed drinks, but it's kind of a little separate from the actual dining area. So it's a little quieter. So that's where we ended up basically sitting. So if you don't have kids or like a big stroller you need to try to park, I'd suggest to eat in that little 100%. Market area there.
They didn't have the drinks there. I mean, they had that cafe bar, but like the refillable station, you did have to walk over, but that was no big deal. It was great. It was a lot more intimate. And people were walking right by, and it wasn't, you're in the open, so you're still in the mix, but there wasn't as much ruckus kind of going on with that. So after we did that, you had an agenda item you wanted to take care of that day.
Yeah, what was that? Oh, I mean to go by Hook's Barbery.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get I wanted to schedule a shave, and then also a mani-pedi for later. I wanted to do it on a C day, and I wanted to make sure I kind of got it the time I wanted.
Shave and haircut.
So we went up to we went straight to Hook's Barbery to get a feel for the ship, but at the same time we then also went up to the deck. I guess it was 13 had the Cove Cafe in the aft part of the ship to kind of check that out.
The drink of the day.
And you wanted the drink of the day, so we kind of went up there, and it's I think so. First impressions really on the whole ship was that it's beautifully decorated.
Absolutely.
Of course it's brand new, so it looks fantastic. But as we kind of like walked the ship and try to find the adult areas, that the outdoor adult areas, it's kind of forward and aft, but they're both kind of deck 13 on both of them. But 13 is not connected. You have to go down to basically 11 to get over to
you have to go down to get up.
Right. So they have an outdoor currents bar on the forward side of the ship for like if you want an outdoor bar, and then they also have a smaller bar, the Cove Cafe bar, at the aft of the ship, and that's where kind of the wading pools are for the adults. That's an adult only section as well. But on the other classes of ships, the adult areas are kind of more combined and kind of centralized or kept together, if you will.
Sure.
But we went down there, we had a drink, and then I think we decided that
we hung out for the sail away party, the let's set sail
party. Yeah, so as we got done, we walked back out after we checked out Cove Cafe, and it was the sail away party was going on. So we paused there for a little bit.
And that was really fun, and that was fun to see everybody. It's kind of fun just to it brings everybody out after the mandatory port or the mandatory safety drill, which we had in Sarabi, which was the best location I think I've ever had for a port or for the mandatory safety drill. We just watched it on the screen, got up and left. Right. Then we headed up to the sail away party. Sailing was the best embarkation experience from getting to the cruise terminal to the ship leaving the port. That was hands down. That was the best that I've experienced.
But so we, did the muster. We saw the sail away.
Yes. And
then we decided that we wanted to go see if our luggage had arrived because we kind of wanted to unpack. And another, I guess, pro tip is don't forget that you still need to unpack because, once the evening festivities start and, you start, and that's one thing, I guess, here's one of the cons of getting a later port arrival is you're not able then to check out the activities. And on this class of ship, because it's such a large ship and it can have up to, I think, something like 4,100 guests, there are a lot of things on your planner that you could do. I mean, you're not going to be able, and that's one thing they stress to us, and one thing we found is that you're not going to be able to do everything. You're going to have to pick and choose because at one time you could have a couple of character interactions and there could be a trivia you want to do. There could be a band that's playing also at that time. And there could be you wanted to do sit down lunch also. So you're not going to be able to do all of them. So you have to kind of pick and choose. But when you arrive late, you don't have as much time to kind of check out what's going on that evening to kind of plan out the rest of your evening. So that was one thing I guess was a con that you couldn't, we felt like we were a little rushed most of that evening.
And part of that was because we had reservations for Enchante. So we had to be dressed up and we had to be somewhere by 7 p.m.
By 7, yeah. So normally we always do the late dinner seating, which would be 8:15. That would give us a little more time. So we knew we had to get unpacked so we could get, dressed up to go to Enchante because they kind of went a little higher, business casual.
You got snazzy. You had your jacket is not required, but and Palo same, no jacket required. Very Phil Collins of them.
But they're expecting kind of really, I think slacks. I don't know whether, I guess nice pair of jeans.
They allow it. I think
I think more of a polo. I don't think they really want T-shirts or hats, but
no clothes.
A nice polo, button-down shirt, of course. But and ladies don't necessarily have to wear dresses or anything either. But we felt like we wanted to get the room, kind of unpacked and put away.
Right, and that's one thing that when we have had. I have gotten testy on embarkation day before because everybody finally gets their stuff to the room and then they either want to go in and grab it, like the kids want to come in and and it's like, all right, just chill out. Let me just put everything away. Let me be by myself. I'll decorate the door. I'll hang the shoe organizer on the wall. I'll get everything all set up the way so that we don't have to mess with it, and then we can put the luggage away. But this time, the room was big, and we had plenty. We had time.
It was only the two of us,
and it was
so
only
it's
two
key.
of us.
So if you've got 4 people sharing a room, it's key to really get everything put away in its place, and using the organizing tips that we've talked about in the past, because you've got very limited storage space in a regular stateroom, but especially for 4 folks. But when it was only the 2 of us, and since we had this handicap accessible room, we probably had double the amount of closet space, double the amount of like little cubbies within the closet space. So putting things away was not that, and there was enough square footage. Normally, like where you're putting all of your things, it's just a small little corridor, so you'd be stepping on multiple people if they're all unpacking together. But because this was a larger stateroom, we could both unpack our things at the same time and not be, bumping into each other.
And we pre-packed well because we had all like the we had 1 suitcase just of fish extender stuff and door decorations and that. And then we had the other suitcases.
On one side of the suitcase was your clothes and the other side was mine. So when we basically flip it open, I could put off my things because, again, with this room, and we'll go into it, but one side, on my side of the bed, was a full-length closet, and I could hang all my things and put on my things. And on her side, she had the same thing. So we could be putting our things away simultaneously.
Yeah. So that was fantastic. We went to dinner at Enchante, and that will be a pod episode into its own self. And it was everything that you would think it would be. And then after that, I think we went to bed.
Yeah, it had been a long day. We had traveled down the day before, and I think we knew that we were going to get up early because there was a character interaction we wanted to do with
Chewie and Rey,
a couple of Star Wars friends. So we decided to just go to bed early that night. But but we had gotten a pretty good layout, a feel for the ship, because we went a bunch of places. We were, for that 2-hour time frame from when we got on and got rid of our luggage and to where we had to make the muster drill, we kind of explored the ship. But at the same time, getting something to eat, getting some reservations done, grabbing a drink along the way. So I guess that would be a pointer to you, is kind of have a little plan in place, but be able to kind of get an idea of the ship layout. So then that evening, as you're kind of winding down, you can start looking ahead at the activities. And that's another thing that's great about Disney Cruising and the app, is you look at everything that's going to be happening day by day. You choose the day and it shows everything happening every day. And if you want to do something, you just hit the little heart, and that basically drops that into your My Plans on your app. So then when you hit another icon, you just say My Plans now. You just see what it is you've gone through, that things that you want to try to get to. And then it sends you a 15-minute reminder prior to that to remind you, hey, this is coming up. So like if you're at a different part of the ship, you can make your way there. So it gives you that ability to just kind of start looking ahead and kind of planning out your day.
I think with the ship, my first impressions, like going to bed that night, I think I was so happy to be there. I knew relaxation was coming. I knew we were going to be treated very, very nicely, very well. There was plenty of Disney magic. The walkways, the interior walkways are wider.
Right.
It's brighter. Everything just seemed, it seemed lovely. We went and got our pictures taken that evening.
The corridor's a lot brighter too, even like the stateroom corridor.
Yes.
So they're probably, I'm going to say, a foot wider maybe than the other class of ships. So So if you're walking and passing somebody on the other ships, you kind of had to be intentional of kind of turning your body slightly when you pass somebody. But on this class of ships, you didn't really have to worry about that at all. And there's not like the dark paneling that you have on like on the Wonder, you don't have that in the stateroom corridors. It's more of a kind of a lighter color, and the lighting, of course, because they've got the LED lighting now, so it's a lot brighter.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk more in future episodes about the lounges and all the different lounges and experience. We're also going to discuss our dinner at Enchante and how that went, as well as Brian's experience in Hooks Barbary. And then we're also going to talk more about what we did at the British Virgin Islands. We did something on our own, not Disney, a non-Disney excursion. And we want to share that with you guys so you don't miss out on something like that. But we also want to hear more from you guys about what is it that you want to know about the Disney Treasure, because we are ripe with Disney Treasure knowledge. We took tons of pictures that we're going to be sharing throughout content on our social media. So be sure to check us out there and stay tuned. We're dropping podcasts every other Tuesday. So catch up with us, and we can't wait to hear from you.
All right. Thanks.